see the full picture of everything that I did versus what actually ended up in the application. What you'll actually be able to tell in the word counts is not that much. And I'm just gonna go through the list and tell you guys everything that I did for them and then what I actually wrote in the Common App. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Brian D. Basinga and this is Becoming Brian D. So as you guys know, through these last few videos, I've been continuing a series where I'm taking you guys through the entire process that I went through when I was creating my applications. And in this video, I'm actually going to be explaining to you guys how I actually ended up putting together my activity section for my common application. And so I'm going to talk about everything that I did for each of the events, and then I'll actually show you what I ended up writing, just so you guys get a glimpse on how I narrowed it down to reach the 150 word count. So we're just gonna get started. I'm gonna try to make this video a little bit faster than the other ones. And so in the past, last two videos, I told you guys everything that I did in high school. But out of those things, these are the only ones that actually ended up on my application. And so I narrowed it down to track and field, Virginia Student Council Association, culturally aware and responsive students, the Student Council Association, mobile app development, web application development, Model United Nations, my cloud computing internship, the Sisters Building Sister nonprofit, and writing for the IT program newsletter. So those are the only activities that I did throughout high school that I ended up putting into my Common App, and that kind of really contributed to me getting into these schools. And I'm just gonna go through the list and tell you guys everything that I did for them and then what I actually wrote in the Common App. So I have it all on my laptop right over here, so I'm gonna be looking this way just so I can, read all that. For track and field, which was the first event that I put down, I did that all 4 years of high school. I mainly competed in triple jump, long jump, and pole vault, and I usually led the jumpers through their practice. I competed at outdoor freshman nationals. Sophomore year, I qualified for indoor nationals, but that was canceled. Then I continued training throughout COVID. My junior year, I was an indoor state champion in the triple jump. Outdoor year, I was outdoor runner-up in triple jump as well. And then I competed at Nike Nationals in Hayward. Did not do that well, but we went. During the summer, I joined the MVP League Summer Track League, and so I did that during the summer. And then that season culminated in me competing at the AAU Junior Olympics. And so there I placed second place, which was All-American in the triple jump. And at the time of writing my applications, I believe I was ranked third in the nation in triple jump. And so that's essentially a rundown of everything that I did track-wise. But on my activity section, I ended up writing. So I did track and field, triple/long jump, team leader, and the school. And I wrote mentor teammates to assist their athletic development in jumps. Competed at 4 national meets, triple jump second place at National Junior Olympics. So as you can tell, that was just little 3 kind of statements, not really sentences, where I just kind of stated what I did in the club. And so I think when moving forward, you'll see how I just kind of I just try to get some action verbs and some little tidbits about each of the things that I did that kind of get the point across. So the next thing I had on here was Region 4 representative for the state student council. And so Region 4, as I said before, is the northern part of Virginia. It's a lot of counties. I'll put a picture so you guys can actually see what that looks like. So everything that I did with that, I was a part of the advisory committee meeting, or I was part of the advisory committee during my junior year. And so I just went to the meetings to help plan for the state convention. And then during my senior year, I was elected as the representative. And so with that, I planned a hybrid leadership workshop where we invited different schools, K through 12, in all the counties in Region 4 to come to my school for a day just full of leadership and learning, meeting other people in the area. And so that was a pretty cool event. But to plan for that, we had to I made this email template, and we sent it out to a bunch of different schools. We made different promotional materials, organized different learning labs, and making a full schedule that has a bunch of things that the students can do when they come to the school. I had to get some keynote speakers, like I said, make the schedule. I had to book different rooms around the school and kind of just make all that happen. I led my school's participation in the statewide service project, which was recycling non-recyclable plastic situation, collecting those, I guess. And then I was the voting member at the state convention. I presented a learning lab on creating a culturally inclusive learning environment. I did that my junior year, and then my senior year, I made another learning lab, and I presented on setting sail towards change. And so, as you can tell, I just kind of did a lot of stuff for that club, but for that extracurricular. And what ended up on my application was that I organized a hybrid workshop for student leaders, parentheses K through 12, in the Virginia Department of Education, Region 4, where students led seminars on topics relating to leadership. So as you can see, that versus everything that I did. I didn't encompass everything, but you know, they get the gist of what happened. The next thing that I have on here is culturally aware and responsive students. So everything I did with that, I surveyed students on discrimination and prejudice in our school. I researched different teaching strategies that we could use to combat those things that I said before. We organized a 20-minute presentation on the importance of creating a culturally inclusive learning environment, which we ended up presenting to our administration. We developed solutions to achieve inclusion in our school, and so with that, we made this response protocol that we were thinking of. We were thinking of having a culturally responsive teaching requirement, like for classes, so teachers had to have certain materials that were shaped around the students in the classroom and things of that nature. We presented our survey to the Student Senate, the School Board Diversity and Inclusion Committee, and then I spoke at the superintendent public hearing about the desirable qualities of our future superintendent, so that, you know, they would value equity, because I knew it was an issue in our county. And then I worked with my school's administration to implement the different policy changes in my school. But on my Common App, what I ended up writing was I presented on importance of creating an inclusive learning environment to administrators and developed a teacher response plan for instances of hate. So the next thing I have on here is student council, and student council was definitely my biggest extracurricular throughout high school. I was freshman class president, so I led the preparation for homecoming, so I had to make the float, the banner, the class chant, and I was also the head of the refreshments committee for the homecoming dance. Sophomore year, I was sophomore class president. I remember we organized a gaming tournament. I forget exactly when that happened, but it happened. Also had to do the float, the banner, class chant, and then help out with the dance. We also did sophomore Sundays, which was Sahas's idea. And so it just kind of like, you know, follow whatever he was doing with that. Junior year, I did this thing called 12 Talks, which I talked about in my last video, but essentially just interviewing different inspirational people during like COVID times. I was a part of the VSCA, and so I would kind of report anything that happened to the VSCA to our school SCA and just keep them up to date in that front. And then I assisted the president in the different things that he was doing and just kind of like helping run things throughout the year since it was during COVID and everything. Senior year, I was a student body president. So with that, I had to oversee like the entire operations for all these things. So like homecoming, the regional workshop, I supervised the different subcommittees and kind of just like making sure they were doing what they had to do for all the big events to work. I helped organize the spring carnival, the award ceremony that we had in the end, and then I played a small role in Senior Assassin, and so just making that happen. That wasn't like with SCA, but it's something I did anyways. On my Common App, I ended up writing, elected to serve 2,500 plus students, organized dance and carnival for 900 plus guests, and advocated for change in school lunch protocols, and class president for 2 years. And so I didn't talk about like the school lunch protocols, but that's something that I definitely did during my, when I was student body president. We had these little things called town halls that were introduced a few years ago. And so we tried to bring those back where students can just bring their concerns to us at our meetings. And then I would try to meet with the principal and kind of tell the principal what the students wanted us to do and try to make that happen for them. So that was one of the things that I did, and I wrote it on here. The next thing I have is mobile app development. And so this one is pretty, like, what happened is what I wrote on my Common App. And so these next few ones, you'll see that they're kind of, I didn't really have much to say on them. I just like said what I did because that's all that really happened. And so with that one, I developed an app to quantify school spirit, debugs code, use Java knowledge, store data using Firebase, and taught myself how to use Android Studio. So all these little like fragments of statements, I guess, I used semicolons to put them together, and I did the same thing in my student council one. I guess you'll see a picture. I'll put a picture in so you guys can see that. But really they were just all like action verbs and just very short, quick statements just to get the point across. After that, I put web app development. And on here, like I said, I just said developing a tool for the TradingView platform, semicolon, offers customization of trading strategies with indicators, utilize SQL and AWS knowledge. That's essentially what I did. Next thing was Model UN. That was I had a little bit more for that. And so in Model UN, everything that I did, I was the director of internal affairs my first year. And so with that, I updated the bylaws, and that's really all I remember doing. I was the director of social media for the 3 years that followed, and I helped plan virtual conferences. I maintained the club's digital footprint on Instagram and other social medias, and then I designed a website for our conference that we were trying to plan. What I ended up writing was helped organize 2 virtual conferences for 20 members, design a website for school conference, plan activities discussing global current events. And so that was just essentially, like, I just helped out with the club, and that's what it came out to be. With Sisters Building Sisters, I created promotional materials for the refresh of a school in Amato, DRC, managed videography and media at a women and children's empowerment workshop. And so I talked about this in my last video, but that is what I wrote in my Common App. And then the last thing I wrote in my Common App was for the IT program newsletter, and that was wrote stories highlighting accomplishments of peers in school information technology program, provided information of program updates to 1,000 plus students. So that is everything that I did in those extracurriculars that I decided to put on my Common App versus how I shrunk them down to the 150 character count or whatever it is. That's how I kind of narrowed that down and put that onto here. So I hope that is beneficial to you guys. I hope it makes sense how you can kind of think about summarizing everything you did in a few statements so that you don't leave out everything important, but you also don't ramble, which I'm known to do. And the next few videos that I'm going to be doing, I'm actually gonna start getting more into the Common App and talking about like my stats, as you guys all have been wanting. And next week I'm actually moving into college, so I think the videos are definitely gonna slow down, or I might start pushing out videos from like my high school experience, but I'm gonna be definitely filming orientation and, you know, like moving into Yale, all that happening. And then I'm very excited. There's gonna be a lot of stuff coming. Hopefully we can do like a little meet the roommate or sweet mate situation, which will be fun. But with that being said, I hope you guys are enjoying this little series. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, you know, if you want to keep up with me on my life or whatever. Comment down below any other information or details you guys want me to share. And then be sure to check out my other videos just so you can really see the full picture of everything that I did versus what actually ended up in the application. Because I really want you guys to see that, you know, you may think you have to do everything, you know, you have to do all these things, but what you'll actually be able to tell in the word counts is not that much. So you don't have to overdo it for things to work out. You just need to figure out how to do it in the best way. And yeah. All right, guys. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.